Hello, chosen one. You may not realize it yet, but there was a singular, unnoticed moment obscured by doubt when you made a quiet choice devoid of recognition. Without applause, without attention, without affirmation. It was just you, your shaking spirit, making a decision that felt like endurance. It didn't feel like a destined moment then. Instead, it felt like a personal giving up. It perhaps seemed incorrect, bewildering, or unjust. Maybe you questioned your thinking, replayed that instant repeatedly, wondered if staying was better, if enduring what hurt more than it healed was the right path. Yet, despite every soothing voice urging otherwise, you made that decision. Because of this decision, the heavens moved. Because of that silent whisper within, time shifted. Destiny doesn't always announce itself loudly. It's often crafted in the language of small, faithful agreements that only the divine hears. You stood at a divergence in the road. One route smoother, another more daunting, still another unseen. At that moment, you were unaware, but you were setting the groundwork for what was to come. You didn't merely take a step, you altered your course. Following rules is different from aligning with truths. The former says, "I'll do what I ought to do." The latter declares, "I'll stand by truth, even when everything around me tempts me to compromise." And that's what you did. You heeded the gentle whisper within, even when it disrupted your plans. Even when it required leaving behind what was once a sense of security, what once embodied hope, what once formed home, you walked away nevertheless. Recall the words of Psalm 37:23-24. The Lord establishes the footsteps of those who find joy in Him. Though they may trip, they won't collapse, for the Lord supports them with His hand. Your steps, though shaky, were firm. Your grip was held, even when unseen. Or, consider Proverbs 3-5-6. Trust in the Lord with your entire heart, and avoid relying on your limited understanding. In everything, yield to Him, and He will smooth your path. You surrendered, even when it made no logical sense. You had faith, even when comprehension failed. That decision was like adjusting a beam in a grand architectural plan. Seemingly small to the eye, but without that adjustment, structures might twist, crack, or crumble. Yet, you didn't let that tiny misstep triumph. You recognized the misalignment, even if barely discernible, and you corrected it. You realigned your inner being, the direction of your soul. And with that central alignment shift, everything linked to your calling had to adjust. Timelines were altered. Relationships took on new forms. Doors, once thought permanently shut, began to shake. Opportunities found new pathways. Some delays were never delays. They were moments of pause for necessary architectural corrections. Designs were re-envisioned. Even without knowing how the final structure would appear, understand that many will never truly comprehend the load you carried. They'll never fully grasp the costs you bore, emotional, spiritual, and relational, through letting go. They'll never see the nights filled with doubt or the mornings weighted down, or the afternoons when you forced hope to rise yet again. But God witnessed it all. Your obedience not as a score to be judged, but as a mark in sacred history. A moment when destinies diverged and your name became part of the unfolding. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us that faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the certainty about what we cannot see. That confidence lived within you. Even when no visible signs supported it, or when silence was all you heard, your conviction stood firm. And because you believed without seeing, the unseen began to stir. Your response to the call of truth, even before confirmation arrived, transformed your spiritual essence. Your mission shifted. You rose to a kind of elevation that doesn't need flamboyance but carries a profound presence. Quiet, yet powerfully evident in its gentle strength. You may wonder why the air around you feels different now. Why do people who were once sources of comfort now feel distant? Why are some resolutions expected now facing resistance? Your choice caused a shift in your surroundings. When you chose alignment, Everything else had to adapt. The world you were moving toward was no longer reachable through the old path. You're now in the midst of divine reconstruction. Everything that made sense must dissolve so that what must stand can rise. Many misunderstand this period as chaos. It's not destruction, but redemption, a preparation time. This is the refining process. You are here not to mimic others, but to live out sacred courage, to embody a blueprint of faith crafted in solitude, in trials, in sacred surrender. God is raising you up, not with ostentatious fanfare, but through unmistakable revelation. People may observe and wonder about your journey. They may question the source of your newfound peace. They might see opportunities appearing where none existed before and think it's an external change, but it's what God has been transforming within you. He has been shaping your character, aligning your purposes, refining the hidden, so that what emerges can witness to others. It's not a performance or for accolades. It's about resonance with divine truth. Others will sense the depth of your roots, though they may not comprehend it fully, and that's as it should be. Those roots formed in secret, in the soil unseen, cultivated through the labor of your heart. Jesus said in Matthew 6:6, "When you pray, go into your private place, shut the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." Your secret decisions were acknowledged. Your private faithfulness is being honored. Ecclesiastes 3:11 states, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." The beauty you now perceive is unfolding in God's perfect timing, not before you were prepared, but exactly when your faith proved unwavering. This forthcoming season won't resemble the one that broke your heart or the one you tried to reconstruct from memory, for this is not the restoration of past things. This is the redirection toward what is genuine, what is authentic, what is promised to you. Do not regress. Do not seek doors you've long outgrown. Do not apologize for letting go of what was never yours to keep. The pain was not without purpose. The loss was the shedding of a false identity. The silence was where your soul recalled its true calling, and now that remembrance unfolds into visibility. The scars, the tears, and the quiet victories are contributing to your authority. They are scripting a narrative that cannot be imitated, a life that commands attention not by seeking it, but just by being authentic. You are becoming an example not because you desired attention, but because you chose to live genuinely, even when being someone else was easier, when conforming would have been less costly, when hiding would have spared you pain. When the world offered comfort, you chose truth instead. That is your personal revolution. That is your unique distinction. You continued to believe when doubt called at your door. You kept your trust when everything seemed to urge surrender. There's a younger version of you still mending, still recalling moments that lacked clear sense. Now, piece by piece, you embody the answers to those unanswered nights. Unvoiced questions, unspoken disappointments, hopes you clutched by a mere thread. Now you are becoming the person that proves those struggles were not in vain. Not for applause, not for acknowledgement from the crowd, but for the embrace of the divine who witnessed the unseen, who heard those silent cries, who cherished your unspoken agreement. So, what is next? Keep moving forward, not to earn love or prove your worth, but in the knowledge of who you belong to. Maintain your stance of faith. Let rewards naturally follow your obedience without you needing to chase them. Allow confirmations to come without any force from your side. Trust that God will complete what your quiet submission initiated. In this season, your life isn't merely a response to circumstances. It is becoming a revelation. It's not driven by desperation, but by destiny. You aren't following fleeting fashions. You are not moving to make a point, but are lifting, because God is making you a reference point. Proof that listening to the divine early leads to transformation. That solitary decision you made in the dark wasn't just the right choice, it was groundbreaking. And with that, the new path unfurls. Thank you, dear friend, for journeying this far. If this message has resonated with you, do not keep it to yourself. Share it, take it to heart, play a part in someone else's moment of realignment. As you press onward, stay tuned to the whispers of Chosen by God. Let your journey continue with grace. May the one who summons you into purpose guide your steps, broaden your view, strengthen your bravery, and allow every unseen choice to echo eternally.